Overtrader versus Zen trader. Here's a statistic from behavioral decision-making research that almost no trader connects to overtrading. After 3 to 5 consecutive decisions under uncertainty, human error rates increase by over 40%, even when the person believes they're focused. In trading terms, after just a few rapid trades, you are statistically worse at entries, exits, and risk sizing, without realizing it. Overtrading isn't a lack of discipline. It's decision fatigue pretending to be confidence. Zen traders don't trade less because they're passive. They trade less because they understand the math of the human brain. It usually doesn't start with chaos. It starts with a good trade. You followed your plan. You sized correctly. You took profit exactly where you said you would. And for a moment, everything feels quiet. But then something dangerous shows up. Space. The chart is still moving. The market is still open. And your brain hates unfinished stories. So you zoom in, just a little. You tell yourself you're observing, not trading. Then you see it. A candle that looks familiar. A setup that's almost there. You don't think, I'm overtrading. You think, I'm already in sync today. And that thought feels responsible. So you take one more trade, same size, same rules. Nothing crazy, but something subtle just changed. You're no longer trading your system. You're trading the feeling of being right. And the market hasn't punished you yet. Which is exactly why the next decision is the most dangerous one you'll make all day. The second trade closes. Now something is different. You didn't wait as long this time. You didn't review the rules. You already know where price might go next. So you stay engaged. You start thinking in sequences instead of setups. If this pulls back, I'll enter. If it breaks, I'll chase. The pause between trades gets shorter. You're still risking the same amount, but you're making decisions faster. This is where overtrading actually begins. Not with bad trades, but with compressed time. Each decision carries less weight. A small loss doesn't register. A small win feels normal. You stop asking, is this my setup? And start asking, why wouldn't I take this? Zen traders notice this moment immediately. They step away as soon as speed increases. Overtraders do the opposite. They mistake momentum for clarity. And by the time they realize they're trading too much, they're already reacting instead of choosing. By the third or fourth trade, your attention shifts. You're no longer focused on execution. You're focused on outcome. You check the P&L more often, not because it matters, but because it's now part of the decision process. A setup appears that technically qualifies, but only barely. Normally you'd skip it. Today you adjust. You tell yourself you're being flexible, that market conditions have changed. You don't break a rule. You reinterpret it. The trade doesn't work. It's not a large loss, but it interrupts the rhythm you thought you had. Now the next decision is no longer neutral. You feel a mild urgency, not to make money, but to restore balance. You want the day to feel clean again, so when price moves quickly, you enter earlier than planned. The stop is still there, but you're less certain about it. You're watching price instead of your rules. Another trade closes. Win or loss, it barely registers. What matters now is staying engaged. This is the point where overtrading stops being about opportunity and becomes about continuity. Zen traders step away here, not because the market looks bad, but because their thinking has shifted. Overtraders stay because stepping away now feels like leaving something unfinished. And once trading becomes a way to manage discomfort, the rules are no longer in control. At this point, nothing feels out of control. That's the problem. You still recognize your setups. You still understand risk. But your decisions are now influenced by context instead of rules. You notice you're up on the day, or close to break even after fees. That information shouldn't matter, but it does. A trade appears with a clean structure, and without consciously deciding to, you increase size slightly. Not double, not reckless, just enough to feel efficient. The stop still makes sense on the chart, but the risk calculation is no longer strict. You're managing exposure based on how the day feels, not what the plan says. When price moves against you, you don't panic. You rationalize. Volatility is higher. Liquidity is thin. You give the trade more room. Not because the setup changed, but because exiting now would feel premature. This is where confidence shifts into attachment. You're no longer protecting capital. You're protecting the narrative that you're trading well today. Zen traders exit here, not after a big loss, but after noticing they've started defending decisions. Overtraders stay because walking away now would mean admitting the process quietly drifted, and once defending replaces executing, the next trade won't be planned. It'll be personal. By now, the trades aren't independent anymore. Each one is connected to the last. You're aware of the total P&L, not just the risk on the next setup. A loss feels unfinished, not painful. incomplete. So when the next opportunity appears, you don't evaluate it in isolation. You evaluate it in context. If this works, the day is fine. If it doesn't, the day becomes a problem. That framing changes everything. You enter without hesitation. The execution is fast, too fast to reassess. When price moves against you, you don't adjust immediately. You wait for confirmation, not from the plan, but from the market. The stop is still there, but now it feels negotiable. This is the first trade that isn't about profit or loss. It's about validation, about proving that the earlier decisions made sense. Zen traders recognize this shift instantly. They know the moment a trade becomes personal, objectivity is already gone. Overtraders realize it later, usually when the loss finally forces a decision they should have made earlier. And once a trade carries identity, the account is no longer being managed. It's being defended. Eventually, the market makes the decision for you. Price moves far enough that waiting is no longer an option. You exit, not because the plan says so, but because staying in now feels irresponsible. The loss is larger than the earlier ones. Not catastrophic, but big enough to change your mood immediately. You feel it in your body before you process it mentally. You lean back. You replay the sequence, not to learn, but to locate the moment things slipped. It's harder than you expect. The earlier trades don't feel wrong on their own. Each one made sense at the time. That's what makes the outcome confusing. You consider one more trade, not to recover the loss, but to end the day on something that feels intentional. This is where most damage happens. Not through anger, but through quiet fatigue and reduced clarity. Zen traders stop here. Not because the loss is too big, but because they recognize they're no longer thinking in full sentences. When you finally stop, the market doesn't feel hostile. It feels indifferent. Price keeps moving without you, and that's uncomfortable in a different way. You look at the trades again, this time without urgency. The problem isn't one bad decision. It's the gradual shift in how decisions were made. Nothing exploded. There was no single moment you can point to and say, that's where it went wrong. That's what makes it repeatable. You notice how early the speed changed, how quickly the chart went from something you observed to something you responded to. That transition mattered more than any setup. This is where Zen traders separate themselves. Not by being calmer, but by treating mental clarity as a limited resource. They don't measure days by profit or loss. They measure them by how closely decisions matched intention. The moment that alignment slips, they stop. Overtraders review the day asking, how do I fix this? Zen traders ask a different question. At what point should I have walked away? The answer is usually earlier than expected, before the loss felt meaningful, before trading felt emotional. That realization doesn't feel dramatic. It feels quiet, and that quiet is where discipline actually lives. Zen trading isn't passive. It isn't slower because of hesitation. It's slower because fewer decisions are allowed to exist. Zen traders don't wait for willpower to kick in. They reduce exposure to temptation before it appears. Fewer trades, fewer windows, fewer reasons to engage. They don't ask themselves if they should trade again. That question never comes up. The day already has an ending built into it. Once the planned trades are done, the chart becomes informational again, not interactive. Watching no longer leads to clicking. This isn't because they trust themselves more. It's because they trust themselves less. They assume clarity will decay with time. Zen traders expect mental drift. They plan exits around it, the same way they plan stops around volatility. They know that most trading damage doesn't come from bad ideas. It comes from good ideas applied too many times, too quickly, with declining attention. So they leave earlier than feels necessary, while the day still feels under control, while nothing needs fixing. That's the part most people misunderstand. Zen trading isn't about calm execution. It's about recognizing when execution is no longer clean, before the market proves it. The difference between overtrading and Zen trading isn't emotional control. Both traders feel the same impulses. The urge to stay, the urge to act, the urge to finish the day properly. The difference is structural. Overtraders rely on moment-to-moment judgment. Zen traders rely on limits decided in advance. One trader asks the market what to do next. The other already decided before the first trade was placed. Overtrading feels logical while it's happening. Each trade has a reason. Each decision feels connected to information on the screen. Zen trading feels incomplete. It often ends with unused opportunity, with charts still moving and setups left untouched. That discomfort isn't a flaw. It's a signal that capital is being protected, that clarity hasn't been fully spent. Most traders try to fix overtrading by improving discipline. Zen traders fix it by reducing exposure to decision-making. They don't aim to trade better late in the session. They aim to never be trading late in the session at all. When trading is finished early, the account survives longer, and over time, survival compounds. Most traders think control happens during the trade. Entry precision, stop placement, execution speed, but real control shows up earlier than that. It shows up in what you don't allow yourself to decide. Overtrading grows when every candle is treated like a question. Is this it? Is this better? Should I act now? Zen trading removes those questions entirely, not by ignoring the market, but by narrowing the window in which decisions are allowed. There's a fixed number of trades, a fixed time of engagement, a point where participation ends regardless of outcome. That structure feels restrictive at first, like you're leaving potential on the table. But over time, something changes. You stop associating trading with stimulation. The screen loses its pull. Price movement becomes information again, not invitation. This is why Zen traders appear calm, not because they suppress emotion, but because they're rarely in situations that provoke it. Overtrading isn't solved by insight alone. It's solved when fewer moments exist where insight is required. And once control moves upstream, before the trade, before the urge, before the click, trading stops being a test of discipline and becomes a process you simply exit. Most traders don't fail because they don't understand the market. They fail because they stay engaged past the point where their thinking stays clean. Overtrading isn't dramatic when it happens. It feels reasonable. It feels connected. It feels like participation. Zen trading feels different. It often ends early, with charts still moving, with ideas left untouched. Now that unused potential feels uncomfortable at first, like restraint, like missed opportunity. But over time, you realize something important. The goal was never to capture every move. The goal was to protect the ability to make clear decisions tomorrow. Zen traders don't aim to feel calm while trading. They aim to stop trading before calm disappears. They understand that clarity is finite, that attention decays, that judgment weakens quietly, not suddenly. So they build endings into their days, not because the market is done, but because they are. When trading ends by design instead of exhaustion, mistakes don't get a chance to compound. Overtrading asks, what else can I take from the market today? Zen trading asks a different question. What do I need to preserve so I can come back intact? In the long run, accounts don't grow from intensity. They grow from survival, and survival isn't dramatic. It's quiet, boring, intentional. That's the mindset that decides your account.